What's going on, guys? Byron here at ETA Wheels, and I'm just testing out my new camera. As you guys may recall, during the Alcantara cleaning video where I cleaned the steering wheel in the car, my camera died, and it died a horrible, horrible, horrible death. So, I have a nice wireless mic now with a lavalier, or lavalier, lavalier, I don't know, I'm not French. So this is testing the mic, and this is testing the audio that is contained within the, this has a microphone as well. Gotta break the eye focus, there we go. So this has a microphone in it as well. Now, this is a Saramonic Blink 500 wireless microphone. I decided if I'm going to go ahead and level up my camera game, I'm going to go ahead and level up my audio game. So hopefully that has come out. Here we go. Alrighty. So what are we here to talk to you about today? Well, right now we're just kind of flexing on the new camera, but we're going to talk about what is a decent vlogging setup. Well, I've got a Sony ZV-1. That's the camera that I basically just kind of traded up to today. When I took the DJI Osmo Pocket 2 back to the store, they made it worth my while to get it. Got me within the ballpark of what I would have spent had I bought this to begin with. So I got a refund, and I think I came out of pocket another 50 bucks. And then they threw in a memory card and a wireless mic system. Hey-o! So that's what we're rocking now. And I like it. Hopefully I've got the settings right. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Hopefully you guys can see me. We're going to zoom in a little bit. Sexy. Awesome. So the audio I can see, you can't see it, but right about there on my screen, it shows me the audio levels, which I think is bonus, awesome. And currently I have it set on eye autofocus. So what are the basic setup that you need to do what I consider to be an effective vlog? Well, I'm not a big YouTuber. I am not a huge vlogger. I'm actually just kind of dipping my toe into it, as they say. But a good camera is a good start. I used a GoPro for years. I will still be using my GoPro. And now I've got this. So the version of this that I got is the one that comes with the little handle, which is kind of cool. Check that out. Pretty cool, huh? And if this thing is working properly, you should get a nice bokeh in the background. Probably asking yourself, Byron, what's a bokeh? I'm going to show you, hopefully. Notice how my hands are just slightly out of focus back here. But as I bring them in, they're in focus. That is bokeh. I like to think of it, simply put, as that kind of defocused area behind me, right? So, for example, you've got Miss VA Beach over there. Can't really see her. I mean, you can kind of make her out, right? But as we zoom in, notice how she just became razor sharp in focus. And now we're going to zoom out. And then it's just going to blur slightly. That's the camera sliding across the glass table that I'm on, not me. Trust me, it's much more violent if it's me. So right now we're just kind of checking out the color palette. We're making sure that this is going to keep recording past 5 minutes. If you guys do like my videos, give me a little, like, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe, throw me a comment down below. Even if it's a comment that says, "Hey, stupid, get off of YouTube." I'm happy to hear from you guys. So what would you guys like to focus, or what would you like me to focus on next? Give me some ideas. Throw some ideas down there in the comments. I'm going to try to actually start interviewing people within the UAE car circle and the car world. I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to try to get some better footage. Of course, I'm going to have, more vlogs on my car. It's a 2006 CTS-V, so I'm pretty confident something else is going to break, but hopefully it won't. Pretty much everything is done. I mean, all the mechanical work is done, the preventative maintenance work is done, all the upgrades are done. It's currently getting a nice polish and a graphene coating. So let's talk about graphene coatings. What is a graphene coating? Well, to protect your paintwork, you have a couple of different options currently, right? You got the traditional wax, you can go to a synthetic wax or a sealant, and then you can get into like your ceramic coating, which is your SiO2 products, and then you have your graphene, which is where I'm at. So the one that I'm using is Onyx brand. It's a Pro Graphene 10H rated. Don't get wrapped up in the 10H rating or whatever, because I mean, realistically, it's not going to give you a huge like coat of armor against getting a scratch on your car. You're going to scratch your car. It's going to happen. This is life. This is normal. Will it theoretically reduce the likelihood of getting a, could it potentially mitigate some of the damage? Yes, yes it can. And that's really all you can hope for. So I got the new paint on the car, got the new interior in the car, and they're gonna put that final little with the coating. So how often should you wash your car after it gets coated? Well, immediately after coating, you're not going to wash your car for about 21 days because you have to let the product cure completely. Now, I don't know if that's the case with graphene coatings. I'm going to find out Sunday when we do an interview with Mr. Johnny at Mark 1 Customs in Dubai. And we're gonna talk to him about coatings, because I think it's interesting stuff, and I think you guys might like to know a little bit more about that too. So I'm going to find out, realistically, what can you expect out of a ceramic or graphene coating. I know what they advertise. They advertise that you'll get, 7 years and blah, blah, blah. I don't believe it. I don't. I'm sorry, but I don't. What I do believe is you can probably get about 3 to 4 years out of them easily if you maintain them. Yeah. So just because you get it coated, ding, doesn't mean you can ignore it. You have to do a maintenance. So every product is different. I'm going to find out what the Onyx maintenance is. And it could be every 6 or 7 months you have to touch it up with a booster, or it could be once a year that you've got to, get a proper maintenance wash done. I don't really know. I've never used the Onyx product stuff. It looks like pretty good stuff. The little bit of information that's out there, it's a fairly new product, but most of the information out there that I can find seems to indicate that it's a pretty good product. Am I going to say that it's better or worse than any other product? No. I'm going to say I went to Johnny at Mark 1 Customs and said, what do you have for coatings? And he said, well, I have this, or I have this graphene coating. And I went, let's go with graphene for 200, Alex. So that's what we're doing. So I've also got the windshield replaced on the car. I had a bullseye that had been on there basically since I bought the car. And I bought one of the bullseye repair kits from Ace Hardware. Yes, we have Ace Hardware here in the United Arab Emirates. So I went to Ace Hardware, I bought one of the bullseye repair kits, I put it on, and it seemed to do a fairly decent job. And then about a year ago, I'm driving down the highway and bing, I got hit with a rock. And that put another bullseye in there. Unfortunately, that particular bullseye was exactly in my line of sight. So it annoyed the ever-loving hell out of me for, well, pretty much ever since it's happened. This isn't the US. We don't have the cool windshield protection replacement, you know. I don't have that on my car insurance here because it's simply not an option. So I just kind of let it go as long as I could. And what I've noticed in the last month and a half is that the two cracks, see, this is that cool focusing I was talking about earlier that this camera can do. Ooh, look at that. Anyway, the two cracks actually started getting bigger. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, automotive glass is a layer of glass with a layer of plastic and then another layer of glass behind it. So it is a multi-layer glass. And the reason behind that is when it shatters, that thin layer of plastic will kind of wrap itself around the glass and excuse me, you are less likely to get a cut. You're less likely to have an injury to your passengers or somebody else, or even somebody who's rescuing you. So that is why having a proper DOT approved safety glass is a good thing. A lot of older cars, if you shatter the windshield on, say, like a 1960s or 70s era car, you're in for a bad day. You're gonna get sliced the hell up. A lot of the younger guys out there, I'm not hating on you in any way, but it's changed. It's changed a lot. Even since, you know, I was younger. It's changed a lot. It used to be one of those things that you had to worry about when you got into a car accident, and now it's kind of something that you don't have to, so it's a really nice thing. Being over here in the UAE, they have multiple different price points on glass. I went with a good, proper safety glass. Your mileage may vary, but basically I got OEM glass, so I'm not worried about that. But once that's done, I think some of the weirder problems I had with the car, I think it had to be resealed anyway, if we're being completely honest. But that, getting back to where I was with the cracks, the two cracks were on the outside layer of glass. They weren't on the inside layer, but you could see where it was spreading along that plastic liner between the two bullseyes. So they were actually about 1.5 inches apart, and then they're like right in your line of sight. So it's just really annoying. It's not a big deal. It's not like a life or death, make or break type thing, but it's really, really mother effing annoying. So got that done. And basically the car is finished. I don't really have a whole lot left to do to it. I want to replace the head unit, but I want to do it in a way that I maintain the full stock functionality. Should I sell the car in the future and, you know, I don't want to lock somebody out of some of the factory features. Maybe that's what they want in a car. I don't know. So what I want to do is I want to take the factory head unit and I want to cut out the 6-disc CD changer on the bottom, and I want to put a floating head unit in there. And basically while I'm doing all of this, I want to locate the factory head unit further back into the dash. And then I want to have that floating head unit actually not floating, but kind of in a bezel that's where the factory head unit was. So the factory head unit will still be there. And if you need to access it, you just kind of flip down that floating screen, flip down that floating screen, and there you go. Cool, we're at 15 minutes, it hasn't cut off. So I'm just kind of spitballing some random ideas, but once again, this has been Byron at ETA Wheels, and y'all have a great rest of your day.